Another thing we learn when we're extremely introverted is how energy works. I want to go into some of the details in this. Like, for instance, being an extreme introvert, we spend a lot of time observing others, because we're not actually in the energy, we outside of the energy observing it, which is how we learn so fast. And I want to go into how negative energy works and what we learn as extreme introverts when it comes to negative energy, because one thing we find out is that negative energy doesn't really stop unless it's absorbed. And what I mean by absorbed is somebody at some point has to absorb the energy, and that's what we do. As introverts, we absorb energy, because when people are arguing, like obviously we'll sit back and we'll observe this a lot of the time. We'll observe people arguing, kind of gossiping. One of the things we see a lot is a lot of people chat about other people a lot, and it gets quite negative. I don't know why they do this. I think it's because it just makes them feel better themselves, whatever it is. But an introvert actually observes all this and notices how bad it is. Because if two people are, say, bickering or arguing, the energy just bounces like a pinball machine. Like, it just bounces back and forth, and then it'll never ever end until somebody stops that energy. And as an introvert, we can kind of like absorb that energy. Like, if someone comes to us angry or even shouts at us, because we don't react to it, because we already know where it's going to end up if we do react to it, it just instantly stops like that. There's been many times when someone's come up to me like angry, or there's been angry people around us, and I've just stood in with no reaction at all, just everything just totally calm, and the negative energy just stopped like that. Whereas if you don't do this, it just bounces around, and you cannot really fight fire with fire. So this is one of the things we learn just by sitting back and observing it, because most people, like, they don't observe anything, they're in it. Most people are in the field just arguing and being part of all this drama, which the mainstream media kind of teaches us how to do, especially the news, etc. So one of the first thing an introvert does when they're young is stops watching the news, because we realise what that's doing to our psyche and our consciousness. And we realise that everybody around us is in that trap, but we can step out of it and view it from like a higher angle, and we can like kind of see where it's all leading to. So one of the things I like to do as an introvert is I'll come out and I'll just have a coffee and I'll just like observe people and listen to things. That's how I've learned a lot of the lessons I've learned. And a lot of the things I've learned I haven't really needed to do, because I've just like seen other people do it. Like I've literally like observed people to the point where I've learned what to do and what not to do in life just by that, because the more you observe, the more wise you become. Especially if you're on like an awakening journey and you've got ADHD as well, like me. Like, I can come out and get a coffee and just like the caffeine relaxes me, whereas other people it'll like make them hyper. But if I sit back with a coffee and relax and just observe things, I learn more in that like hour than I would months and months of actually going out and experiencing things, because a lot of things you don't need to experience to learn. So this is how I learned like how karma works, and I learned that karma was a real thing, because I would observe people doing something and I would think like, that's got to come back on them, and then I would observe them for like months, even years, just waiting to see if it would come back on them, and 99.9% of the time it did. So whatever people put out, they get back. So people who are stuck in this negative cycle of gossip, arguments, like all this low vibrational kind of ways of living, they don't realize they're in a trap. Now, what's important to say about this is that it's not good or bad. Okay, like you need to get out of like the idea of what's good or bad, because that just puts you in a trap, and it's a never-ending cycle of like fighting. You've got to fight for what's good, like deny what's bad, fight what's bad, only focus on the good. Like this is also a trap, because when you analyze things for long enough, like I have, you kind of realize that every single thing that's bad leads to good because of karma. So all these bad things people are doing, they're going to get a lot of bad things happen to them, and you can't, well, most people can't like learn how to be a better person without having bad experiences, because that's what grows a human being. The bad experience is what evolves us onto the next level of awakening, because it kind of works like levels. If any of you are not familiar with this, then I would advise reading the books about spiral dynamics. These go into all the different levels of awareness, and a lot of these levels can't be reached without the negative. So the negative's here for a reason, guys. So you can't like look at it and think it's bad, because one way or another, all these people out there who are stuck in the trap are going to get a lot of karma. And you might look back and think the world's a bad place, the greed's getting out of control. That's fair enough, but these people who are creating all this is going to get a lot of bad karma. And this is a message to the elites as well. Not that you'll be watching this video, but if you are part of the elite who basically if you're part of a corrupt system that's designed to make as much profit as possible without caring for humanity, then you've got bad karma coming to you, and you can't escape it. Like it's impossible to escape karma, because it's a universal, absolute truth. Whatever you give out, you get back, whether it's next month, next year, or 10 years down the future, it's going to come back to you. So these are some of the things we learn just by sitting back and observing for years and years and years. So being an introvert has its good points, but it's also it is quite a lonely existence sometimes. And a lot of people will say like, well, I don't like going out in public, I like to just stay in the house because I don't like being around people. But you can do that, but it's gonna I would say it's gonna like pause your growth for quite a while if you do that, because humans are not designed to be just alone. We're designed to be around people. We're designed to learn from other people. And if you just sit in the house on your own all the time, you're just going to be stuck in the same level of awareness that you have been for a long time. You're not going to learn much. So if you're an introvert, I would advise going out on your own, maybe to a coffee shop like I do, or anywhere where there's a lot of people. Make it a little ritual to like go out on your own and just relax in yourself, but also enjoy being around people at the same time. Like you have to like kind of do both. That's what I like to do, and this is what I find brings the most peace, because you're learning how to incorporate being around other people as well as being within yourself. And if anyone negative comes up to you, or even if you like hear a negative conversation, just imagine absorbing that negativity and stopping it in its tracks, and just try that. But I'd like to know like your experience with this as well. Like, how do you deal with negative energy, and have you found that it just bounces all over like a pinball machine? And how do you handle being around people? Like, can you do what I do? Do you like being around people but within yourself as well? Or do you just like to isolate?